You can play a pick whenever you want. But in this room, I prefer you play with your fingers. It's going to teach you a lot of things, and here are the reasons why.
Yeah, that would have changed.
I don't know if I would. I don't know if I would have, man. I was a 8th grade punk.
What if he took the time to get to know you, right?
Right.
Like if teachers, that's another thing. If the teachers say, well, a part of this deal is to build a relationship with the student, because it's not just like, oh, give me your money, I'm going to show you something that you paid for and then leave. I teach my students there's 4 aspects to playing. You've got your physical, where you grow physically capable of playing the instrument. Your mental, knowing what to play and when and how. Your, I guess, like a metaphysical, where it's like, why am I doing what I'm doing? What's the purpose behind it? And the 4th would be your relational, like how you interact with other musicians and how you interact with your audience, right? And I think that has to exist between a teacher and a student. They have to know that you care before they care what you know.
And I guess, he was a huge like Nirvana Pearl Jam guy,
right on.
And I'm bringing in like hairband shit. So we were kind of like opposites
Clash
anyway.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know how that worked, how he was older than me and he was into the new music, and I was into the older music. I don't know how that worked. But
ego's getting in the way.
Anyway, that guy can...
You need to chill the fudge out too, Mr. Ego.
Suck it.
I'm going to play with a pick. No, I'm just giving you a hard time.
All right, is it my question?
What was the last question asked? Did you ask me number 4?
I think it was dream job. Yeah,
dream job.
You're up.
So I didn't actually say that. I said I love teaching, and
you
it's
said
great.
this and teaching.
I love
as
doing.
As long as we had a band and you could still teach.
I want my job to be whatever brings in
monetize the hell out of this.
Yes, yeah.
And then
I want free
drum
time.
And
because I'm really going to go pursue other stuff. I want to take my family on trips around the world.
Oh, hell yeah!
I want to go. Visit my brother-in-law and his wife and kids over in Australia.
Nice.
They live in Sydney out there.
Down under.
They are, and it is so funny because Mark is his name, and he has a bit of an accent.
Is he
he's
starting
lived
to
in Australia for so long?
Nice.
But when he comes back here, because he came back for mine and Dawn's wedding, and when he was back here for like 2 weeks, you heard it drop off, and he started to have much more of an American inflection with a hint of the Australian.
Right.
And then when he's over there, it comes back pretty heavily. But all the Australians over there say he's a Yank. He sounds so much like us.
Right.
It's so funny.
He's a Yank.
He's a Yank. So yeah, I did all 3 of these: teaching, drumming,
something
and
creative that
media stuff.
Gotcha.
My own show or your show.
Gotcha.
I love that. So that was your question. That was number 3, right?
Number 4. Yeah, that was number 3.
So number 4, we're finally getting to it. Tell me, because I think Shanda.
I love your question voice.
Yes.
Tell me.
I'm attempting to have more of a broadcaster tone here.
And welcome back. Question number 4.
Yes.
No, my girlfriend Scarlett.
Scarlett?
Yeah.
Scarlett. That's who I'm thinking of.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's her name. Sure. So Scarlett.
What she has to do with
said
question
that I
4?
should ask you about your feelings on German Shepherds.
German Shepherds.
I couldn't wait to just throw this at you.
These are my feelings on all dogs, and we talked about this last week. And nice that she is inflicted herself into our conversation.
She's interjected herself.
Yes. She had this friend. They're still friends. I don't know why I just said like she was gone from this earth or something,
right.
So she lives with these 2 gigantic dogs, and we're going to pick her up before dinner because the 3 of us were going to go out to eat, and I can't remember what else we did. I think we went and grabbed some beers, but so we're going to pick her up at her house, and she mentions she's got 2, golden retrievers, and they're pretty big, and they're babies. They're so sweet. They're just the sweetest dogs ever. I was like, I'm not really too concerned about that. I'm like, those dogs shed, and she's like, oh yeah, she spends half her day like de-shedding all of her, but she keeps a really clean house, and I'm worried about my allergies at that point. But anyway, so she's like, well, we're not gonna be in her house very long. We'll just get there and pick her up, and then we'll leave. I was like, all right, no big deal. We pull up to the house, and all of a sudden, these 2 man-eating beasts are like at the big bay window barking, like so loud and aggressively and deep that the frickin' window is shaking from their barks. And I'm like, all right, hold on. And she's like, they're just excited. Trust me. When they see me, they'll calm the hell down. Don't worry. Just calm down. I was like, those look like they're about to attack us, okay? I could see their silhouette through the drape. And she's like, just calm down. Once they see me, everything's going to be fine. We walk in. They don't calm down. They basically eat me. She's not even ready. Her friend Katie isn't even ready. She's like just got out of the shower, which is great because we were on time. So thanks for being on time for us, which is one of those things that, irk me, but especially when I don't know you. Like right. I'm just here just to kind of get to know you and your first impression, or not your first impression, I shouldn't say, but one of your first social impression with me is going to be that you have so little regard for my time and what I would rather be doing than this. And her dog's just all over me. Like she couldn't calm him down. She couldn't calm him down. And they were just sitting there like growling at me, just. And I'm like, what the hell? Like they could tell that you were scared. They could tell you that you're scared. I was like,
they sense the fear.
They sense the fear. So that gives what? So you've got bully dogs. So your fucking dogs like making people scared.
Well, no, it's a dog thing. It's an animal kingdom thing.
No,
right? If they sense fear in another creature, that's a sign of weakness.
No.
And they have to.
No. My species eats your species. There is no fear here. I am not scared of you. I would just prefer you weigh more than me, and that's it. So get off of me.
Eats your species.
We do.
There are those that do.
Human beings eat dogs, and had it not been for our ancestors who used to use you against other wolves to make sure that their little campsite was safe or they'd be alerted, you would not be in my house. If it was up to me, dogs would be banned. You know how I feel about dogs.
I'm going to get you linked up with Chunk, and you are going to change your tone on Chunk, at least on Chunk. He will be the bridge for that gap.
There are dogs that I can...
I challenge you.
I'm not saying that I want to kill every dog I see.
You're going to love Chunk.
Just saying that dogs... The idea of a domesticated animal that used to be a wolf is just... it's not smart. I mean, and...
There's a book that Dawn had on this. She was reading. It was talking about how modern dogs, the domesticated dog, came from maybe a slightly different ancestor, like down the line, like because they've been amongst humans for so long. So long they've been part of our culture, right? That wolves and domesticated dogs are so different in so many different ways.
Oh, of course.
Like instincts and things that run in them. You see some similarities, yes. But at the same time, you see some major differences.
Well, of course, because they've been domesticated for
a long time. And that, I guess, has some sort of... I know very little bit about this, but apparently there's some concepts of like genetic memory that get passed on through a species over time.
Sure.
And so they've had so much of a history with human beings that it's like...
you throw them out in the wild, dude. You drop off a litter of dogs.
Yeah, and they're gonna
golden
feralize
retrievers
a little bit, especially if they grow up feral in that way. You can still have those instincts to be there, but it's same for human beings. You raise them in the wild, and there's going to be certain feral attributes that will go on there. But like the majority of dog breeds, especially ones that are fairly low on the aggressiveness, Yeah, you train them well, you treat them right. I challenge you to see how many cases there are of actual problems.
Okay, here's
without a main catalyst that came up that was some person's stupid behavior.
Bottom line, all I'm going to say is this: if you and a dog are locked in a room, and you don't get any food, eventually that dog is going to eat you. I don't care how nice you were to it its whole entire life.
Well, it will eat that dog.
Yeah, you might. Yeah, you will want to eat that dog.
In that case, I wouldn't blame the dog.
But what I'm saying is these dogs that get all this reputation for being, oh no, they're sweet, they're cuddly, don't worry about it.
You can't be stupid about it. You have to remember they are animals.
They are animals, but like that's why I would never want like a full-grown golden retriever anywhere around my children, because if they just hop on them and just all of a sudden have that natural instinct just happen that where they wanted to bite at the jugular. Like that shit has happened. That
Yes,
is
it
not like a
has.
rare. That's not a rarity. I mean, dogs
It
like
is, well,
do.
statistically, I would say it's fairly rare, and I mean, in and of itself, like the spontaneous stuff. Yeah, I think statistically that's fairly low. I mean, I'm not looking at numbers, so I could be totally wrong about that. But from what I do know, because I live with a woman who's like inundated with dog info,
Sure.
right?
Yeah, this is probably bad.
I'm telling you that statistically, yeah, the random incidents of that without catalyst, without like cause, are very small. If it is happening where people, because I think we read something recently where a woman was walking her pair of pit bulls or something, and she was found mutilated, eaten, and the pit bulls were standing there over her,
Right.
So that can happen, but. As I understand it, there were other details to that situation.
I think it was an
that brought that up.
abusive situation for the dogs. I think I read that. Yeah. Of course, yeah. If provoked, I wouldn't blame an animal to do anything.
Right.
But what I'm talking about is that instinct of just I don't know.
My middle dog, Gita, right? Middle dog. I talk about like children because they really are in a way. She's the middle of it.
No,
They're not. We know
you did not just say that. Come on.
The way that
I
we
hate
treat
those
them-
people that are like they're like my children.
Well,
shut the fuck up. Go have
my
a
wife
child
almost
first.
feels that my wife is not interested in having children of her own, so the dogs kind of become that. And I'd rather her put that instinct on dogs, than try to put it on me or the rest of the world to like have to mother.
Well, okay. You
Yeah,
guys are kind of
I hear you.
But
She's got 4 stepkids too, so I think she's got a full plate.
she's got enough love.
The reason I
enough
bring all
place
that
to
up,
give love.
right? Yes,
She's got enough places to give love.
The reason I just bring that up is that Gita, she's afraid of a bug. She's afraid of a bug on the floor. She barks at it like it's going to hurt her, and she doesn't like do anything to it. She backs the heck up like it's going to hurt her. It's a tiny little bug walking on the floor like a ladybug.
I'm just saying those golden retrievers should have had more respect for me as a human and shut the fuck up and go lick your own balls or whatever you do. All right, I've got a question for you to make it up to the to make it up to the homosexual community.
Oh yeah.
Male or female, the most attractive trait about somebody.
Male or female.
Male or female. Just
Okay.
what's the most attractive thing about somebody?
The one that would cross.
I don't mean
boundaries like that.
you
Could be
want.
seen from either
Don't mean
perspective.
boner attractive. I just mean like
I hear you. I hear what you're saying. Yes. Most attractive feature to me. I'm a big fan of eyes.
eyes.
Eyes, yeah.
Okay, I meant trait, like a
Character trait.
yeah, like a character trait. Okay,
Interesting.
so now we got the physical. So Aaron's an eye guy.
I'm digging the eyes.
Okay.
I mean, I'm a fan of the chest physique.
The-
as
the-
well.
the
I'm
breast
a big fan of
assist.
that. Yes, but if we're talking emotional connection,
Now,
yeah,
how
I think-
much do you think that men are gravitate towards breast because of?
Well, we're physical, and there's a ton of research on that.
because of like the breastfeeding.
No, I don't think it's just from that. I think largely men through and there's a ton of psychological research that's been done on this. Eye gaze in babies, right? Boys are much more attracted to objects than people, right? They will focus on objects and things like that. That's what draws their gaze. So they're much more visually oriented in that way toward things, right?
Okay.
And I guess eye gaze for girls is statistically largely different. You know, they're much more interested in faces and people. If I am, and I'm really oversimplifying that, but that's largely what it came down to. So
Right.
yeah, it's a innate physiological, psychological difference for guys. We're into the boobies. That's the thing, man.
All right.
Friends. But
characteristic trait
yeah,
in
characteristic
humans.
I'm always throwing this like science knowledge and stuff out there, which I have very little of, if any. I'm kind of a dumb.
This is purely speculation, ladies
It
and
is.
gentlemen.
I'm very uneducated in this. I'm throwing a little bit of stuff out that I know because it makes me sound smart.
Mm-hmm.
But, yeah, I'm just not. Anyway, character trait. Sense of humor.
Sense of humor.
Sense of humor is superbly important. If you take things like massively too